Hello and welcome to the Grounds Crew. My name is Alex.
Alex Sr.
And I'm Randy.
And this is the Grounds Crew. We have both baseball and football updates for you today. Randy, what do you got for football?
Well, let's take a gander back. Lots happened, but let's just review just quickly the college football playoffs. Let's look at the two teams that got bids into that crazy 12-team format. Tulane from the American and James Madison from the Sun Belt. I understand how these conferences work and how they're able to get themselves in. I'm winning that, but I just do not understand those two bids that got in. And they basically kicked out a couple of teams. And those ones, I think anywhere from Notre Dame to BYU to the University of Texas should have been in the playoffs. I may have not had a hard problem with Notre Dame, but then again, they've been an independent for a rather long time. But was definitely surprised by those two teams making it, and obviously the four teams that made the buys: Indiana University, University of Georgia, Texas Tech, and OSU, all deserved. All deserving, even though SU didn't win their conference. I'm one for believing that all the top 12 teams that are ranked should be in there. I just don't see us going to grab a team number 20 and a number 24 team. And they did it last year too with Arizona State getting the bye, and that kicked out a couple other teams too, but didn't make any sense. But if we were to go back in and look at the rounds, the way they kind of unfolded, I think you'll find that they did a reasonable job, except those two teams. I was kind of dissatisfied with what I saw there, but it wasn't ones where I watched every game, but there were some definitely exciting games that went on. And when you take a look at, I wonder why that's giving me such an issue there, but not really. Oregon sure did their job. Alabama skated by. Ole Miss did what they had to do against a team that Tulane didn't belong there, and it was a pretty good one with Miami and Texas A&M. That was a close one, but Miami was a skirt by. And then as we got into the next round, I think Indiana and Miami both won their tickets to the final matchup, to the college football exam, when Miami knocked off Ohio State, and then Indiana pretty much manhandled Alabama tremendously. After that, it was pretty much the other two games. Oregon didn't have too much of a problem with Texas Tech, but get into the semifinals, and Indiana did what it had to do, and so did Miami. And I think we had a really good final game. It was nice to see Indiana University win its first ever. It pretty much didn't squeak by in Miami, but they kind of looked good, and I was definitely impressed with what I saw. And Indiana looked dominant throughout the playoffs. And I think the other thing that come out of that, all of it, is one guy, Mr. Mendoza. And where does he go? So, anybody get a chance to watch any of those games? He is number one for sure. And he'll go to the Raiders unless the Raiders trade the pick.
I'd like to see how he pairs with Genty in the backfield.
Yeah, there's food for. The Raiders look like if they make that pick and Brady seems to have his hand in things, it could be an interesting season for the Raiders.
I keep forgetting Brady's involved.
Yeah, and the kid's got a good head on his shoulders. Mendoza looks like he's going to be, if he can weather the storm, he's not going to win right away, but he could.
We saw the Patriots turn around.
College football, Pops, or no? Senior?
Yeah, not too much. I know this Fernando Mendoza. I know he's kind of a big deal. Everyone's talking about him. So see what that happens.
That season's over. Yeah, and what's really interesting about Indiana University, they were ranked 10th last year, and they did what they had to do this year. They needed to knock off Ohio State, and they did. And Indiana played well. They did what they had to do, and they went undefeated too. So it's nice to see the right team get there. They could have managed it. The talk is 16 teams next year now, which I'd like to see, but this conference thing is very strange. I don't understand how NCAA can always seem to just about get it right, and then allowing these two teams in. They had no business. My personal opinion, no business. James Madison and Tulane being there. It is what it is. When you look at who they played, you're surprised. BYU was a good deal. UT was a good team. Notre Dame should have a shot. All right, on to the NFL. The only thing that sticks out in the NFL this year, obviously, my team wasn't there, the Cowboys. When I look what happened as we got into the playoffs, some teams skirted into the playoffs, some got out. I was surprised about Kansas City. They kind of flopped. They just didn't have it this year. I think various reasons. But
then Mahomes got hurt at the end of the year towards ACL.
it hurt. It hurt. And the teams that played well, they looked well. I mean, the one thing that stands out the most for me is Josh Allen. Just I look at it, I scheduled on. I said 0-8. He's 0 for 8 now. Has his window closed? I have no clue. We just wait till next year.
I think so.
But I think his window's closed. I think this wears on him, just like it's going to wear on Dak Prescott. And there's other quarterbacks that wears on. But who knows? But here, parity in the NFL, that's something that's happened. You get it when you get rescheduled. When you get your schedule, you got to realize the Super Bowl contestant was the New England Patriots were a 4-13 team last year. They played a schedule that produced a 14-3. I'm not going to take anything away from the team. The team had to win games, and it did. And it had pretty much a soft AFC East, and the rest of its schedule was kind of on the soft side. But they still won games, and every single game in the NFL is important. You only play 17 of them. That's why it's just you have to win. The same happened to the Jags, and they got bounced in the first round.
You can talk about the soft schedule all you want. They still beat the teams to get to the Super Bowl. I understand Bo Nix was hurt in the championship. I understand that. They still beat hard defenses to get to the Super Bowl, where Drake May did nothing.
When he got to the Super Bowl, he did nothing. You're right.
He did.
And
he did.
You're right. It's correct to say that they had to win, because here are teams that got into the playoffs that hadn't been there in a while, and to be able to be consistent and win. That's where the shock of Josh Allen comes in, that they just couldn't get over the hump, that kind of deal. But like I said again, soft schedules do produce you put you in place to be a number 1 seed or number 2 seed like New England was, but they did what they had to do. Bo Nix, perhaps it'd have been a different story. But the key thing that I grab out is that Sam Darnold, I mean, to me, he gets the last laugh. 5th time's a charm. Drafted by the Jets, scammered over to the Panthers, hang on to the 49ers, 14-3 the Vikings 2 years ago. Mr. McCarthy was in their playbook, but it wasn't Sam. And then Sam had the last laugh winning it. And I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for Seattle. I'm not a Seattle fan. I'm not a New England Patriot fan, God forbid. But bottom line is that Seattle won, and they did what they had to do. And way to go, Sam! Way to go, Sam! Did you know that it was the second most watched NFL Super Bowl?
I did not know that.
Seattle, New England, second most watched. It ranged between 125 million, 128 million. It's the first one was last year. Was the Eagles and the Chiefs, and the year before that was the third largest, the third most watched. So we've had the 3 most watched football Super Bowls in the last 3 years. Yes, sir, Alex. I didn't. You notice in the inscriptions I sent you, I didn't even mention it because it just was. I don't even know if we want to go down that rabbit trail with Roger and the NFL, but irregardless,
I'm going to be cutting all of this, just so you know.
Yeah. 2 last statements. Old man wins the MVP. I think they got it right this year, finally. That's
Stafford had a great year.
Stafford. Yep, that's Stafford. And then, obviously, as we all can see, I got this hat on, and that's all that's left to say about the NFL. It ended with a bang with John Harbaugh going to New York, and that just changes a lot of things in the NFL. I don't know if it'll happen next year. But it's exciting to see the NFC East.
Well, I will say just one thing to add on to the NFL. Javonte Williams has signed a 3-year extension with the Cowboys. I thought he played really well throughout the season until he got hurt.
A real good move for the Cowboys. Pickens is going to get a contract. He'll go. He may actually sign. Everyone's thinking that he's going to use it as leverage, but Pickens may actually sign that whopping $30 million deal, whatever it is. It's not arbitration. It's the red tag, the tag he gets. He'll get a nice whopping, and then maybe take that next year, and then get the big pop if he has another good year. Cowboys need defense. They ain't got it. They ain't winning anything.
I'm just hoping that they still pay their offensive line, because Javonte had a great year, and I traded for him in fantasy football, so I need them to keep the offensive line. That's all I have to say. All right, moving on to baseball.
Shall I just do this? I'm going to get rid of the cap.
Yeah, please. That was offending me.
Does that feel better?
So,
okay.
Yeah, that looks better. So, The new ABS system's here. If you don't know, that is the automated ball strike system that a player can challenge whether a ball or strike was called and see if that was wrong. I believe teams get 2 challenges
I'm hearing.
a game, so there's probably going to be some strategy with that. Like, you're probably going to tell your number 9 hitter, you better not use it. Save it for the guys that matter. But I had this question posed to me earlier today. So Aaron Judge has the most, or probably has the most balls that are called a strike in the league. And that's just because he's 6'7" tall, and he has the biggest strike zone in the league.
That's it.
And it's not fair that the umpires make it even bigger.
Exactly. So my question that was posed to me was, how many more walks does Judge get with this ABS system?
Let's see, how many games we got? 162 games.
162 games.
2 challenges per game. So you're going to get 324 more walks.
24 more walks. Let me pull this up here. So last season, Aaron Judge, 124 walks and 36 intentional. The only player to... Oh, there was only one player to have more walks than him. Can you guys guess it? It was not Shohei Ohtani.
Wow, okay.
Was he a Dodger?
He was not a Dodger.
Was not a Dodger. Wow. Maybe Juan Soto.
No.
It was Juan Soto.
Oh, okay.
Juan Soto.
Judge had 124 walks. Juan Soto had 127.
Wow, okay.
With that being said, how many more walks does Aaron Judge get?
This first
40.
season, I don't think anything really changes. I don't know if the umpires are going to be rated any differently now that this is in. I just don't think anything is going to change. For one, if we have the technology, I want a system where they don't make the calls and strikes. The ball approaches and is in the end zone, is in the cube, and we've got technology to decipher that. It's not going to lie. I'd rather have an umpire to call the guy safer out at home or follow up and that kind of deal. I think the ball moves too fast. I think umpires are not as, like you said with Aaron, he's got a big strike zone. It's huge.
Yeah.
You could see it. You can almost see the box. It's elongated, right? Right, Senior? It's crazy. I mean, he's a big man, but that's...
Well, then this is a follow-up, I guess.
Before we go follow-up, I hate Aaron Judge lay off an outside pitch and it gets called against him time and time and time again. So I'm glad to see that they're going to finally do this. And I think I mentioned it on another podcast that from an umpire standpoint, traditionalists say that they don't like this. They like that, they like having that human element, that it could be, changed and catchers the way is baloney. But when the umpires have tried it, they love it. The umpires love it. They don't have to get involved in controversy anymore. They still make their same calls the way they always did when it's a strike 3 and all that. Nothing changes with that, but just nobody can argue. I mean, if you want to challenge it, go ahead. But for the most part, the computer's going to get it right most of the time. And I just think it's great for the game. I think, I don't know. I love this move, and I'm glad to see them going to move forward with it. One of the few things that he's doing that I kind of like. There's a lot of disasters going on right now, too, that I don't like.
Yeah,
we could get into those later. But
let me ask you,
do you
Alex.
think
Let me ask
Judge...
Yeah, I was responding to Alex. Are they doing in this system already in the? Cause I haven't watched any of the 2 days that have gone here of baseball. Are they doing it in the cactus and in the grapefruit leagues right now?
I'm assuming so. I haven't seen it myself. Last year that was in spring training.
Right, it wasn't spring training.
They've been working on this system in the minors for years now. So the players that are coming up, I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's like 20 seconds, maybe. It's not a long time.
Is it going to be like tennis?
It won't slow the game
tennis
down.
has it. Yeah, I hope so, because tennis has literally when the call is made to review the client, you're going right to the trajectory, and you see the ball do it. I mean, it's obviously looks like it's in CGI, but the bottom line is it's what are we going to see? I'm interested to see what we're going to see, but we'll see.
I believe we're going to see something above home plate, like a cube, and then we'll see the ball and see if it crosses the plate at all. It's going to be like a 3D home plate strike zone.
Then with the technology we are involved with, let's have it every play.
Yeah, I remember when I used to play, and this is kind of goofy. When I used to play wiffle ball with, we set up a chair, and if you hit the chair, you hit the chair. And, I can't tell you how many pitches I laid up. I'm like, no way, this thing's going to hit me. And it would hit the outside corner of the chair because there was a curve going around. I'd be like, oh. Well, it hit the chair. It's a strike, I think it's going to be.
It's a change, and I think it's going to be good for baseball. Yep, it's a change.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good for baseball. When I've seen it in the minors, I liked it. I saw the umpires like it. So, like he was saying. So, I do think this is a good move for baseball. Will Aaron Judge lead the league in walks next season?
Yes.
I think he will get walked more personally. Don't know how much more. I mean, do you guys think he gets 20, 30 more walks? Or is that number way too high?
Realistically, I think 20 is probably a good number.
Yeah.
But early, because it's not always – it's usually with him, it wasn't always the called third strike that got him. It was that one that put him upside down in the count, where he laid off a pitch and that he calls it a strike, and now it's it's two balls. I'm just saying it makes the count bad. He falls behind in the count and flails at something.
Absolutely. When you look at,
because when that pitch does not get called against him and he's ahead in the count, I don't think they necessarily walk him the next pitch, but I think he'll get more. But yeah, I would throw in an extra 15, 20 walks too. But I think more so it would happen early to him.
So I'm just looking at his stats from last year. He had a 457 on base percentage last year. Perfect time for a
thing. Yeah.
Does he get to a 500 on base percentage?
Ooh, wow.
He could.
It'll be close.
Yep, he could.
He's going to get on every other at-bat or every other plate appearance.
Yep.
Oh, no, wow. Good question, Al.
Every other at-bat.
Even with this challenge system in play, like you said, it's not always on that ball four, but when he lays off that pitch, it messes with him for the entire.
Yeah.
So if that gets reversed, his mindset's going to stay locked in.
Yeah.
He may call that. He may be the one that makes the cap tip and said, because there's no question asked, and you alluded to it, Senior. There's a whole lot of difference from a 2-1 count to a 1-2 count. And it changes the at bat, especially when there are players on base. There's runners on base, and it just changes the at bat. I think he'll be the only guy on the team. Primarily, I think that'll have the green light, and he'll be smart enough to pull it out in the right scenarios. And it's not like I don't think. Yeah, what's that?
Will he have? I don't think he can, because the computerized strike zone is going to not call that outside pitch. Going to call it a ball or a strike wherever it is supposed to be. I don't think he's going to have to challenge too much.
Well, here's the other thought, and it's human thought. Now the umpires know that there's this challenge here. I'm hoping that it inspires them to make better calls.
I agree.
And that may be what the outcome will be of it, that these 2-1 and 1-2 scenarios where it's 1-1 and the ball comes and the ball's been pitched and it's clearly a ball. He's now got that 2-1 count. There's so much, because it changes the strategy of the pitcher. He's got to realize, do I want to go 3-1 on this guy? I got to throw him a strike. So and what an advantage that, and I've seen it go the other way around. And we've seen not only Judge, but I've seen other players just get thoroughly discombobulated when the call on 1-1 goes against them.
Right.
It's tough. So I hope the umpires catch wind of this as maybe it's straight. I mean, not to such say straighten out. There's a lot of pitches thrown every game, But we watched it this year, and you watched it all over. There was times where you just say, "My, what a call!" Then
Right down the middle. Ball.
yeah, oh yeah.
Gotta make sure to keep your eyes open during.
Well, they don't even worry about it. The computer's doing it for them.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's they're making the call. Like the umpires are still making their calls.
You're still making
the
the
only
call.
time the computer is doing it is when they challenge it.
Oh, I thought the computer was signaling to them.
No.
Oh, right.
No.
Technically, the computer is already looked at the pitch. It's just waiting for the head tap to go ahead and look at it.
Right.
Because the computer's on the whole time. Every pitch, the computer's on. And that may be.
So you're saying that the way this ruling's going to be, the umpires are still doing nothing different, except that there's a computer backup for they want to check the pitch? Oh, boy, that's not.
Is it every pitch? You know, Alex? Doesn't it have to be? It has to be every pitch because the computer doesn't know if Judge is going to tap his head or any player is going to tap his head. So it technically has to be every pitch has been monitored. I think that's the way it is in tennis. I think every line is monitored. So it's just a matter of, do you want to challenge the pitch?
I think they have to challenge it in order to use the computer. But
then the computer's going to review the pitch that was just thrown. Maybe see, every pitch is thrown and it's already there. So maybe the computer then is going to look at it and go back and look at it, replay or whatever you want to call it, go back to the replay, and that's it. That's what it'll do. Does the pitcher have anything it can do this year?
He can also challenge, I believe.
And the pitcher wow. That's going to be interesting.
I'm looking it up right now. Let's see.
Like I said, I'm all for.
Okay, here it is.
Literally.
Players will have the power to appeal the strike zone judgment. It just went completely away.
Lovely.
Players will have the power to appeal the strike zone judgments of human home plate umpires by turning to the ABS challenge system. So it is still the umpires making the call. It is only the computer if it's.
Oh man, that's different. I think that the computer should call every ball in strike.
But still let the umpire make the call. So everyone is tracked, and and there's pitches that you've seen that ball. It grabbed the cube because it's a cube. That it's just not this flat rectangular straight up and down deal.
Yeah, no, it's a 3-dimensional home plate. Yeah,
there's space there, and I've seen many pitches that have gone into that and gone in and gone out. Ball went into the strike zone and it landed outside the strike zone, and I'm thinking that was a strike. But it is what it is, and we got a new flip, and I enjoyed to see the pitch count, the clock last year, and how well that worked. Mm-hmm. And it was just the game moved along. It was great to see. None of the gyrations at home plate, none of the rosin bag tossing back and forth. And the pitcher looked like most pitchers are ready to throw the ball. And that made batters get back in that box. And it just made the game well. And it was great to see. No complaints.
At first I did not want them to put a clock in baseball, but I am so happy they did. I love the flow of the game now. It's like you can't look at your phone, otherwise you'll actually miss something.
You're right. You're right.
I love it personally.
I do too.
To get back to
Judge,
how this ABS system is going to affect things. I mean, because of that mindset thing that we were talking about, because that flips the switch. When that call gets reversed, you're back, you're locked in. How many more home runs is Aaron Judge going to hit?
I don't.
Does he get to 60?
Yeah, I think he has. Every year, if he stays healthy and he's got somebody good hitting in front of him and somebody good hitting back of him, and their team's hitting, Aaron is a threat, just like Giancarlo's a threat every time he comes to bat. And who knows? Maybe Mr. Jones will be this year too. Would that be something?
Giancarlo.
Alrighty.
One
So
more year.
let's
1.5 more, 2 more years, and that's it for him.
don't make me feel old.
So I'm seeing this. This is the happy medium that they came to from going all in on robot umps, making the. I'd rather they let the system do it, but I guess we'll see how this one works. I think it's coming though.
I think so.
I mean, I think what needs to happen in order for it to come fully is because right now I think there's a little bit of a delay for a response time. Because when they challenge it, they don't get the call right away. They have to show it on the screen, and then it shows if it's in or not, whether it's a ball or a strike. So if they want to implement this fully, I think they have to work on that response time. Because the umpires call it right away.
Right.
So if they can get it, a response right away, why not?
They have been doing that in the minor leagues. That game we went to, that system called every ball and strike. I remember the umpire. That's what the computer said to one player who was arguing. He was like, "Oh, okay."
That's because it got challenged. That's because it got challenged, sir.
Yeah,
that was a challenge one. That wasn't the computer wasn't calling everyone.
Let's say a couple of years this ABS morphs in because technology gets to the point where they can actually have a some sort of system that calls it all the time. Will that kill baseball?
No.
Will that hurt baseball? I don't think it does. I want to get it right.
I used to think yes, but I don't think no. I think no now.
I want to get it right.
It'll hurt the catcher's position. Those that were the best at framing pitches won't.
Well, that's going to stop though. The framing stuff is a joke, is it? And there's umpires they're already clocked on knowing that he's favorable to the catcher, to framers. I mean, it's the framing and it's not all of them. It's not a few of them. It's all of them. There's just something about jagging the belt, and I think some guys have gotten ruined by that, by trying to put it into play, and the umpire's like kind of saying, what are you doing here? I mean, catch the ball where it landed. I don't know. That's my personal opinion. I don't like the frame stuff. I can't stand it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of catchers have gotten more money in their contracts because of framing. So I think it'll affect their pay. So if I'm a catcher, I don't want it because I still want to get paid for framing. As a baseball fan, I wouldn't mind seeing it now. All right. So I guess let's start and move into the major free agents of the offseason. Pete Alonso went to Baltimore. Now, how does that affect Baltimore's lineup? And does this increase their chance of improving their record last year? Where do you think this team will place in the division? Who wants to take it?
I'll tell you. I mean, I'll do the first stat. I'm a Pete Alonso fan. I love the polar bear. I think he's going to have, if he stays healthy, he's going to have one heck of a season over there. I'm not worried about going to AL or whatever because they play each other all year long anyhow, so it doesn't make a difference. I just think that it is a tough place to play in New York. And he will be relaxed over there. He'll be with a bunch of players. A lot of their players have to play better than they did last year for them to be any good. And,
I agree.
And so once they get that lineup rolling, that insertion, and actually I think it was a steal for Baltimore. They could be dangerous. They've got some reasonable pitching, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know where I have to look at it. The only way we're going to know anything is it's so early on right now. You just based on placing new players on teams. You got to see what they do in the see how it looks out and see who's going to be in the starting lineups and all that, and see who's going to be the starting pitchers in the rotation. Then we make a shot at it. But Baltimore's going to be better.
We'll go over the lineups later. So
yeah.
Pete on the Orioles. Let's see what else we have. You guys have any thoughts on the Kyle Tucker?
Hey, power to the Dodgers. That's all I got to say. Power to the Dodgers. They're doing these deferred contracts until the NBA, Major League Baseball gets a handle on that and figures out how they're going to handle that. How's it all going to attract? How's it going to keep? And the Dodgers, they don't care. They're going to pay the luxury tax.
Yeah.
The Yankees would have paid. If the Yankees would have signed Soto, they would have paid a huge penalty tax. And what was the difference of them not getting Soto? It was a luxury sweet box when it all is said and done. The numbers were the same. They were the exact same. And then he got a box that he didn't want to pay for and he wanted to give it to daddy. And the talk around that a couple of things I read about was that Soto loved playing with Judge and loved playing with the Yankees. It just for whatever reason, they'd have won last year. I think they'd have won last year. They beat the Dodgers. They'd have won last year. And they did put on a pretty good season for us. They put on a good season for us. Made the playoffs and got to Toronto and lost to Toronto. So it happens. It wasn't like they got really devastated by Soto leaving.
And now they add Bo Bichette to them. Have you seen his fielding at third base?
The Mets are always going to play second fiddle. And they can spend all the money they want, but they just ain't going to be. They're second fiddle. I love the Mets too, but they're second.
So going back to the Tucker contract for a second, someone that I do not like, Manny Machado, basically said every team should be doing this. They're the only ones that are doing it. I'm saying it not exactly.
His team is doing it.
Yeah,
his team is doing it.
He said that he loves that the
but
Dodgers
they just didn't make the right
because
picks.
every team should be. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is he's like every team. Like when you look at San Diego, go look at the Padres. They just didn't make the right picks. The Dodgers made the right picks. The right free agent signs.
The Dodgers are getting it right.
The Mets didn't even. Did the Mets make the playoffs last year?
But will they this year?
I don't think so. And they moved them to left field too. I don't know if you heard about that.
I did. I heard they moved Soto to left field. I think that's good for them, as I don't think Soto's a particularly good fielder. How does this improve the Dodgers?
Makes them better.
Yeah.
Makes it even better.
Get any better. It's like they needed to get any better.
Al Tucker's going to make the Dodgers better. I think this is absurd what's going on, though. Buying players on credit so you can get more players. So, I mean,
that's got to stop, Senior. You're right.
See what happens when they reel off 3 or 4 more championships and they just keep buying players and putting them on, deferred contracts. And it's just not right.
No, I don't like the deferments.
What's going to happen
personally
baseball down the road when they got to pay up on these contracts and they can't afford to pay players anymore? I don't know. I think I'm just shocked that Manfred just sitting by idly and letting this happen.
I think something's got to happen next offseason. A rule's got to be made next offseason, or at least a rule made during the season to affect this next offseason, because the deferments are getting out of hand. But
are the deferments legal?
You
think they're legal?
I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't be
legal.
But
yeah,
I just don't.
I think
they're legal. I just don't think they're good for baseball.
Yeah. If it was the Boston Red Sox with a couple of billionaire owners running the team, and the Sox were in a position to load up on some players, would you be concerned? No, I won't be concerned if the Yankees were basically one season away from having a pathetic payroll, because they were seconds away from signing the big kahuna. And I'm not against any player making as much money as he can. There isn't an owner that's holding a loaded revolver to anybody's head. And the bottom line is those numbers are being thrown out there. The Dodger organization's got tons of money. And there's a lot of other owners that have tons of money. They just choose not to spend it. And that's a prerogative.
Crazy.
That's why in a couple of months, what's his name is going to be going on the market.
I just, when you talk about, parity. So like, we were talking about before in football, it's parity because of how the draft works and all that kind of thing. With baseball, you're always going to have teams that are up here and teams down there. We all know that, right? That's always going to be. But for the teams that are up here to now be able to acquire the highest paid players and not even have to pay them and go ahead and acquire more players underneath them, it's just completely unfair to the rest of the teams that are out there. The problem was bad before, but now this makes it so much worse.
Yeah, I was in favor of a salary cap because I wanted to see more fair teams going against each other head to head. Like, I wanted to see more opportunities for, like, a team that, like, doesn't want to spend, like, the Marlins. Like, I wanted to see them, like, actually have a chance at things rather than just plummeting every year. They did well last year, and then they sold guys off in the offseason. Well, you can get into that if we want to. But now I don't even know if I want a salary cap. I just don't want the deferments.
Yeah. It's absurd.
They're paying Shohei Ohtani $2 million a year. And they're going to pay him the rest of the $700 million he's owed after his contract's up.
2050.
That's the big problem I see.
2060.
Yeah.
And the deferment it can be from a financial standpoint a great thing for the club, because if the club turns around and puts that money they've invested in that player and does a what's the Met player that's making the money that he got involved with Wilpon and all that deal, Bobby Bonilla type contract, where he, what stops a player from saying, listen, I don't want all the money now, I'll defer it out there. So he defers it out there. The club obliges, but I think my personal opinion, that can happen for the ball club. The ball club can do whatever he wants with the money, and the ball player can receive the money. But that contract has to be valid for those 10 years, $70 million on every. That's where the salary cap maybe has to be the only way to stop this, right, Senior? I mean, how else are we going to stop it?
I believe I heard that since it's deferments, that for luxury tax purposes,
They're
it's
still
being
getting
listed as 45 a year. Yeah, they're for luxury
but
tax
if he only counts
he's
2 million,
worth 45 million.
But on his 2 million, that's not right.
No. Like if I think personally, all 70 million should be put on that luxury on the team payroll.
That's right.
I think it is.
Per year.
Pretty sure that it is. Which, by the way, I forgot to mention this. You asked about Kyle Tucker's contract and what that's like now. So what did he get? Let me just pull it up. Let's pull up.
I think it was 4 years, 240.
Yeah, 4 years, 240.
I think you're right. Okay. So
For
Kyle Tucker gets 4 years.
half the year.
Yeah. I mean, is that, almost 70 million? 7, 14? No, 60 million.
60.
Okay. $60 million a year. That's it doesn't cost them that for the Dodgers, because they're so far over the luxury tax already that his contract is costing them over $100 million a year. Over $100 million a year.
That's incredible.
I mean,
he was hurt last year.
Broke his hand last. That makes the highest paid player in baseball.
And
let's put it this way:
Kyle Tucker had $30 million. In case you were wondering, $30 million of that $240 million.
Yeah, that's
only
not that
30.
and deal.
What was Ohtani?
No,
Ohtani's
it's not $2 million a year. I believe $680 million was deferred.
Yep. And
Juan
we're talking about
Soto's
the craziness
contract
of things
deferred.
that have to change in baseball. No, it is not.
Before you ask that question, sir, I know where you're going with this. Before you ask that, since the Cubs lost Kyle Tucker, they signed Alex Bregman. Are the Cubs still a playoff team? Or is the loss of Tucker to Bregman too significant?
At least they replaced him.
Oh, let me see what else. Computer's frozen. I can't even tell you what they got.
In case you were
Are you
wondering
happy that he
about
went to
any other
Chicago, Alex?
of the...
No.
There was a $10 million difference in the Red Sox offer, and they didn't offer him a no trade. The Cubs did.
That's
But
itchy.
the Red Sox then went out and traded for Wilson Contreras, which I don't know how that's going to look in the lineup yet, because when Casas comes back,
that
I don't know how that's
could
going to
be.
look. I really would have liked to see one more move from Boston to get a solid third baseman. I mean, they went out and got Caleb Durbin from the Brewers, who I believe got Rookie of the Year votes. So, I mean, I didn't dislike that pickup. I just wanted a little more, personally.
All right, so now I got the Cubs. A lot of their other moves I'm not, blown away by. You asked if they're a playoff team. I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
Last year, they were, where is it?
Yeah,
they were 90 and 72 and got a wild.
Was that on the last
I
couple
can see
days?
them still getting a.
Yeah, I still can see them getting a wild card.
Yeah, I can see them
probably
sneaking
see
into
a
the
wild
wild card. I mean, because the third wild card team was 83 and 79. So realistically, we're saying, are they going to be more than 9 games worse?
I don't think so.
I say they're still a playoff team.
I mean, they win.
They had a super hot
Yeah,
start last year.
they went and got a bat.
They did.
Yeah, but they went and got a bat in the trade. They lost a player and they went and got a bat. That's all that matters. It wasn't a direct replacement, but they got a bat, and we'll see what happens. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the Yankees were in a position to lose some players, and they went and re-signed some, and they put the guy. I mean, it was good to see Belly get back to the Yankees because they won with the team that they have now. Now they lost some relievers, but those relievers. I mean, the Ghost was never the Ghost when he was there. He couldn't handle New York, and then the Dreamweaver he fizzled out. He fizzled out, the Dreamweaver. He had his little spike, and that was about it. But I think for the most part, I think.
And he went to the other
teams are coming back the other side of the coin. Yeah, definitely. And then the Dodgers went and got Edwin. Now they got their closer.
I did not like that move. I really did not.
I to know that the Rangers went and picked up. Hold on, the Rangers. Keep an eye on them. They went and picked up Donovan Solano.
Hey, he can hit for average. Yeah. Donovan Solano can still hit for average. Don't disrespect Donovan Solano.
Do not Brandon disrespect
Donovan Solano. Take Solano's name out.
the Aroldis El Bombi going. Who did Bombi go to? The Eagles? Not Eagles. To the Phillies? Where did Bombi go to? Aroldis.
He's still in Boston.
Earmarked in Texas lore. Aroldis went to Boston. Not Aroldis Chapman. El Bombi. The missile is Chapman. That's a great story. I love him. I don't care he's with Boston, but I love him. I'm talking about the Texas Ranger that hit the home run to win the first game of this World Series and basically propelled Texas to win the World Series that year. Garcia is his name. I don't know if it's Aroldis Garcia. Yeah, they call him El Bombi. I think he signed with the Phillies or signed with the Phillies. And I'm here to see
1 year, $10 million.
He's one of those guys that I'll pick up. Yeah, he's one of those guys I'll pick up, and a different setting is going to change that player. That guy can hit. And if he hits behind or in front of or behind Schwarber,
and he has Stanton level muscles, so yeah, he can hit the ball a long way.
A big boy.
Some other big free agent moves: Dylan Cease to Toronto on a 7-year deal. I think they overpaid for him after the year he had last year. Like you said, Edwin Diaz on a 3-year deal to the Dodgers. Yeah, he can. I'm really excited about this free agent. Ranger Suarez to Boston. Oh, the Boston rotation is stacked. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Framber to the Tigers.
Dangerous.
Especially a lot of guys with the kid Roman Anthony. Anyways.
Are you getting excited there, Alex, or what?
A little bit. A little bit. And Eugenio Suarez back to Cincinnati. It's a little reunion there. Naylor to the Mariners. Let's see, what else was there?
Signing with the Mariners, by the way.
That was a re-sign? Oh, yeah, because they traded for him. That's right.
Right. Yeah. It stuck. It did that one of them late season trades, and he wound up staying there.
That's right. Luis Arias to the Giants. I believe that was another signing.
Yep.
A lot of re-signs. I won't go through all those. But I believe those are the big ones. Let's see. What are we on at time? 53.
It's funny, when I'm looking at here, you got the Rockies, and it says notable subtractions. Herman Marquez. That's a notable subtraction. That just added 9 wins to their season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's notable, all right. It puts them in the good. I didn't think we were gonna have any Rockies slander today. My apologies. I didn't think we
there's a little bit more to that.
43 and 119 Rockies slander today.
Sorry.
They may get to 50 wins now.
There's a good piece of news out of Colorado. Yeah, really. Well, there's a good piece of news out of Colorado. They're claiming that Dollander's going to have a good year. That Dollander's ready to mature and have a good year. I read a report on him. Dollander.
And the biggest thing with Colorado pitching is pitching in Colorado. And that's the biggest.
Yeah, just pitching in Colorado.
Thing.
There you go.
Like, there's. Yeah. I mean, so. I mean,
I
their
made move
ERAs
for
are going to
guys
be a
just
little
based on
elevated.
that.
We already know that. I know you
know
did.
me how I was.
I know you did.
It's crazy, but Ranger Suarez to Boston. That's that move. I remember him being available and being around, and there's so many ball players. That's why I say when you say Dylan Cease to Toronto, Dylan Cease won me some games last year, and at the same time, he also didn't show up.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 4.55 ERA.
Yeah, he's up and down, hot and cold. But I don't know what he's got left in the tank. But boy, Rangers still has it, and for the Phillies to lose him, that was a big loss for them. And I think it's a great addition for the Red Sox. I think he's going to be really big for the year.
So, I mean, speaking of that, we'll get back to the Red Sox, but let's quickly go through at least the AL East lineups and rotations. We already talked about Baltimore a little bit with Pete Alonso, but their projected lineup, is Taylor Ward, Gunnar Henderson, Pete Alonso, Adley Rutschman, Dylan Beavers, Colton Cowser, Blaze Alexander, Samuel Basallo, and Kobe Mayo. And their projected rotation is Trevor Rogers, Kyle Bradish, Chris Bassett, Shane Baz, Zach Eflin, and Dean Kremer. Projected to go with a six-man rotation. Do you think they are better than they were last year? Yes or no? I think it's a yes. I mean, I loved most of the moves they made during the offseason. I think their team got a whole lot better.
I had him for a while. Chris Bassett was an asset.
Yeah. The one move I didn't love that they gave away Grayson Rodriguez in the Taylor Ward trade, but I love that they acquired Taylor Ward. Do you think they are better than they were last year? What were they last year? Let me pull that back up.
The people lost and what they've gained, yes, they are better this year.
They were 75 and 87 last year. Will their record be better?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Flip it.
Yeah.
Flip it. I wasn't surprised if they're 87 and 75.
You think they're going to be 87 and 75?
Polar Bear's worth that. Yeah, Polar Bear's worth that. Polar Bear can carry that team. He might end up being the number one player on that team before the season ends.
They're going to get 12 more wins just because of Pete Alonso?
Quiet in Baltimore. But Baltimore's a quiet place to play. Pete, something tells me Pete's going to have a setting the table. Taylor Ward's a great player, too. I had him a couple times.
He helps them quite a bit. But there's so many question marks. I mean, is Bassett going to have a good year again? Shane Baz is like, will he have a good year? Zach Eflin, will he have? I mean, they're counting on turning some of these guys around. Yeah.
They're also counting on Gunnar Henderson to have a bounce back year. They're counting on Adley Rutschman to have a good year.
That's why
they're counting on Jackson Holiday to.
Yeah. I say that 5 more wins.
How about Jackson showing up, right?
With the moves they made, I can see them being over 500.
Yeah. Okay. Who's next?
Next, we're just going to do this alphabetically. Boston's next. Their starting lineup projection is Roman Anthony leading off, who had the best OPS on the Red Sox last season. Trevor Story, Jarren Duran, Wilson Contreras, Weiler Abreu, Carlos Narvaez, Caleb Durbin, Marcelo Meyer, and Cedane Rafaela. And then their pitching rotation is projected to be Garrett Crochet, Ranger Suarez, Sonny Gray, Brian Bayo, and Johan Oviedo. And Oviedo's not even locked in his 5th starting spot yet, because there's 2 prospects for the Red Sox, Peyton Tolley and Connerly Early, that may beat him out in spring training for that 5th spot. So, I mean, I love the moves that they made. I don't like they lost Bregman, but I think they got better overall, especially with the Ranger Suarez addition. What do you guys think?
Sonny Gray, if Sonny Gray pitches like he can, that could be another smile there. Their pitching looks good.
Ranger. And if he doesn't, they call up one of the prospects. And not to mention they have really good guys on the injured list too. Let me go back to that. Who do they have? So Costas is projected to come back in May. Cutter Crawford is projected to come back in July. Tanner Houck's projected to come back in August. And Sandoval is projected to come back in June. end of June. Now, I'm interested to see what the Red Sox do when Casas comes back, because Casas is a first baseman. They just traded for a first baseman in Wilson Contreras. So I'm interested to see what they do in May when he comes back. Well, what do you guys think? Did they get better? In your opinion?
Oh, yeah.
The loss of Alex Bregman.
Pitching wise.
That's tough.
Loss of Alex Bregman, but addition of Ranger Suarez and Sonny Gray.
You picked up Suarez and Sonny Gray. I like it. I think they're going to do better than they did last year.
So they won 89 games last year. Are they a 90-plus win team?
Yes.
I agree. Randy?
Absolutely. Okay. They're pitching.
I didn't think. I thought.
You know what I did with pitching in the fantasy? Yeah, no. You saw what I did with pitching in fantasy last year.
You don't have to remind
I watched every single pitcher, even the guys that weren't on my team. And they made some pickups.
Yeah, we don't want to.
No.
You don't want what?
All right. Well, moving on to the Yankees here. Their projected lineup is Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, Ben Rice, Giancarlo Stanton, Jazz Chisholm, Ryan McMahon, Jose Caballero, and Austin Wells. Right now, it looks like Goldschmidt's going to come off the bench. He's not even in the lineup right now, it looks like. And then their starting rotation, at least to start the year, because I know they do have some injuries there, is Max Fried, Cam Schlittler, Will Warren, Ryan Weathers, and Luis Heel. Garrett Cole it says Garrett Cole's supposed to come back in March. So it looks like he's right around the corner.
You got Garrett Cole back and this new surprise from Schlittler. Yeah, you got quite a rotation there. They're going to be a better team this year. I don't like that they haven't really gone out and gotten anybody.
Yeah, their lineup's the same.
They tried.
Yeah, they basically just resigned.
Yeah, they tried pitching wise, but
guys that don't matter.
I mean, I like.
Where's
they got Weathers. I'm pretty sure. The recovery, it says
he might be coming to New York. That Schmidt's probably done for you. Yeah. So the two guys that are out are Cole and Schmidt. And isn't there another pitcher out? Yeah.
Rodon.
Will Cole be the same way?
Supposed to be healthy until October.
Yeah. See, okay. So I knew there was. I can remember.
He's getting up there.
We've lost technically. We've lost 3/5.
I mean, with the projections for their injury return dates, do they have a better record than last with the projected return dates?
They're going to struggle. I think they're going to struggle.
I think if Garrett Cole is ready to go for opening day, I think the number's just slightly above 94.
I can see that.
Maybe even 93, 94. Like, it's going to be around 94, I think. I think you're looking at a very similar year. Yeah, I really don't see him doing much better, but maybe just slightly. If Cole is the old Garrett. What was your question?
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy. I mean, they could even end up running a 6-man rotation with one of the prospects. I'm happy with every one of those guys.
Did we talk about Jones at all? Spencer Jones?
I don't believe so, but it looks like he's right in the waiting.
I just looked at the home run he hit. Was today? Oh my goodness. No doubter. Yeah, no doubter. I just watched. Yeah, wow. And he's a big man.
Who does he replace, though? Who does he come up and replace?
Wow.
So I do have a question for you guys. Where is Dominguez? What happened to Dominguez? I don't even see him on here. Oh, they have him starting in Triple.
Yeah, I wasn't all that thrilled with what I saw from last year, but he's young yet.
I still think he has a better chance to do anything than Jackson Holiday, but
yeah,
that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I guess this is the perfect transition for that. I think this is the perfect transition for this. I mean, you said he was a prospect since he was 16. The Phillies just signed an 11-year-old. How is that okay?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. What are we doing here? 11-year-olds? Come on, man. That's ridiculous. I mean, we all understand, too. Okay, so Venezuela, I mean, he might be 19 years old going on 11. I mean, so that's how they play in Venezuela. But, man, it just sounds ridiculous. Didn't the Yankees sign a 14-year-old?
I believe it was 13.
So now we're going to 11-year-olds. Kids in 6th grade and we're going to sign them? Come on. That's absurd. I don't know. It's funny because I was talking to Paul about this the other day. and was saying, well, they can't legally give it to him, so it's on a handshake basically. So it's kind of even silly that this made the news the way it did. It's a handshake deal. You let us have exclusive rights to him. When he turns 16, we'll give you $1.8 million. That's 5 years from now. A lot can happen between now and then, and this whole thing may never even go into fruition at all. But the fact that we're talking to 11-year-olds and trying to get them to agree to sign our team, it sounds perverted, to be honest with you. But um, uh, it just doesn't make sense. When is the commissioner going to step in and put an end to these ridiculous things? This should not be a legal thing for them to be able to do, to go try and get exclusive rights out of an 11-year-old.
I agree.
I was telling Paul, like, we were sitting there, it's like, if you put all my years of umpire Little League together, maybe 10 years, 12 years, let's just say 10 years I umpired Little League, I only know of one kid that actually had an arm that was decent, that all the other kids would stay in the back of the batter's box when they faced him because he threw so hard. And it's doubtful that kid will even make it. So why in the world would you go after an 11-year-old? I don't see it. So many variables and so many things can happen from now till then. So I think it's ridiculous. The commissioner should be stepping in on this. It looks bad for baseball. I think it looks bad that they're going after 11-year-old kids. I mean, we're letting teams sign players and not pay them for 10 years, and so they can sign more players. Parity is gone. Let's just go after. Might as well just start signing 11-year-olds now. It just doesn't make. It sounds stupid. It sounds as ridiculous as it is. All right, that's my take on it.
All right, well, continuing to the Tampa Bay Rays, who I believe Tampa is going to be back at Tropicana. Their starting lineups are Gavin Lux, Yandy Diaz, Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero, Cedric Mullins, Jake Fraley, Taylor Walls, Chandler Simpson, and Nick Fortes. Their starting rotation is going to be Drew Rasmussen, Ryan Pepio, Shane McClanahan, Nick Martinez, and Steven Matz. Their record last season was 77-85. Do you see Tampa doing better now that they're back in their home stadium? They don't have to have that weird away schedule where they were on the road for so long. Do you think they're better than 77 wins?
Didn't that ballpark do good for them, though? Or did it do better for the opposing team?
I mean, they both had to play in the park. I think it was an even advantage.
Okay.
I think the disadvantage came from the huge away schedule towards the end of the season. You don't think they're better?
I don't think so either. I'm looking at their acquisitions.
Steven Matz, who was a reliever last year.
If Cedric Mullins has a good year, maybe.
Yeah. I think that if Baltimore is going to improve the way we think they are, I think Tampa is just going to have less wins. I think that's just what it comes down to. I think more teams have improved than with Tampa not improving. They didn't do enough.
No, they didn't.
I'd see them doing worse. I agree with that. Next on the list is the Toronto Blue Jays. Their Blue Jays lineup. Who, Tampa? Tampa ends up in last place, you're saying? Yeah, I will agree with that. We'll put our predictions at the end here, but I do agree with that. Yeah. So the lineup for the reigning defending Toronto Blue Jays, at least in the AL, reigning champs. Their lineup is George Springer, Addison Barger, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Dalton Varsho, Alejandro Kirk, Jesus Sanchez. I'm probably not going to pronounce this right. Kazuma Okamoto? Motorola. We'll just go. I'm just kidding. Andres Jimenez and Ernie Clement. So essentially, it looks like it's going to be the same lineup than last year, minus Bo Bichette and adding this guy from Japan. And then their starting rotation is Kevin Gausman, Dylan Cease, Trey Yesavage. I would like to see what a full year of Yesavage does. Jose Barrios and Cody Ponce. Last year, they won the division with 94 wins. Are they better or worse?
Dylan Cease got a 7-year deal.
After posting a 4.55 ERA, yes. I really did not. But I think Savage is going to have a great full year in the big leagues. I agree with that.
Losing Chris Bassett.
Losing Bo Bichette, gaining this third baseman from Japan that hasn't seen big league hitting, except maybe in the Classic.
Yeah, if Yasevich continues what he did last year and surprising everyone, I can see them being right. But Dylan Cease, maybe the Dylan Cease from a couple of years. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
That's true. But do we think they're over or under 90? I'm going to say under 94 wins too. I agree with that.
Under.
Sure? Yeah, we're all under.
But we all had them, near last place last year, and they won the division. So
I believe we all had them ending 5th. So, and then they went to the World Series. That's how baseball works.
Yeah.
He's hurt. Santander is they very well could have. I believe he's going to be out for I believe I heard 6 months. It's not showing me on the website here, but I believe he's going to be out for 6 months. And the way he played last season, that helps them. That was a lot. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, he did.
The deal, which includes opt-out provision, I agree. The contract for Santander was 5 years, 92.5. Which, with an opt-out thing, if he doesn't opt out, it could be 6 years, one. I don't know what contract's worse, but I don't know what contract is worse. The Santander contract or the Cease contract? I mean, they gave him so much money for having a 4.55 ERA.
Hold on a second with that, though. So Dylan Cease spent his first 5 years of his career on the White Sox, the lowly, dreaded White Sox.
Yes.
Let's see. Really bad ERA his first year. Brought it down a lot second year. Got into the 3s in the third. Got into the 2s in the fourth year. And then he shot back up to the 4s. And as soon as he left, he did better in San Diego. 3.47 ERA. So...
Convincing me a little on the contract. So I'll say Santander's the worst one.
7.
Convincing me a little bit there.
He shows flashes of brilliance and then he bombs.
I do too. I agree with that. I do definitely think they're going to be less than 94 wins, which is what they had last year.
They're still going to be competitive. I don't think the loss of Bichette and Bassett will. Oh man, it's hard to say that though. Bassett and Bichette gone. Picked up Dylan.
I'm not saying they're not going to contend.
Yeah.
I think they're still going to be competitive. I'm just saying I don't think they get the 94 win mark.
No, I don't think so either. I said they finished second. I'd say third.
Well, all the way down to third. But I don't know.
You think the Red Sox and the Yankees have better records this year than the Blue Jays?
That's a tough question.
All right, so let's say second.
I really like the moves the Red Sox made. Call it bias. They may have the best rotation in baseball. Call it bias if you want. They're at least in contention for that title of best rotation in baseball.
All right, let's see out after 2 months. What's that?
Yeah. Got Randy to say it. A Yankee fan saying, I'd like to see you try. I would like to see you try. All right, well, I guess let's do it. Let's make our predictions real quick for the AL East. We'll just start from the bottom and go up. 5 spot, I got Tampa. Anyone disagree with that?
No, that sounds good.
4 spot, I got Baltimore. Yeah, Tampa for 5 spot. I got Baltimore at 4.
Yep. Sounds right.
And now this is where things get interesting because the rest of these 3 teams were playoff teams last year. And they probably will be again. Unless the Texas Rangers do something. I think all 3 of these teams will be playoff teams again next year. Now it's just how you put them. I don't want to put Toronto third. Because I really like
Yankees, Toronto, Red Sox.
Really?
Alex, you're going to say Red Sox, Toronto, Yankees, right?
I don't love Cease in the rotation for them. So you're saying Yankees win the division, huh? I agree with that.
I think that this addition of Jones in the Yankees lineup behind Jones, and the two-strike zone thing.
If Garrett Cole
is
Garrett Cole, I can see the Yankees.
All right, so the Yankees get the addition of Garrett Cole back, while the Blue Jays get Dylan Cease back. I'll take Garrett Cole.
Are we consensus? Who do you guys have at 3? I have the Blue Jays. Blue Jays at 3.
They still got good pitching. hard, man. I'm going to say 2. And that's tough to say because I do think that the Red Sox have a great pitching lineup.
So who do you have at 3 then?
Just because I'm biased, the Red Sox.
Ugh. Randy, who's your 3? I don't say it, but yeah, I say Toronto, but I don't say it with conviction. Any 3 of these teams could win the division. I truly believe that. It's going to be a fight to the end in the AL East, like it always is.
But if the Blue Jays get off to a start that they had last year, then they're going to prove us all wrong. Let's see how they start.
So I feel like the Red Sox have the better rotation, but the Yankees have the better lineup. Who do I put at 2? Who do I put at 1? I'm just going to go with what my gut's telling me. Boston finishes second in the division. Yankees win the division. And I don't like that. I really like the Boston rotation. I just need something more from their lineup in order for me to say they're winning the division. I think the Yankees win it. And I don't like saying that. Thoughts, please.
I like it.
Someone please tell me I'm wrong or something. I know you're 2 Yankee fans, but tell me I'm wrong, please.
I get on,
Oh, my final. Yeah, I can see it. It's gonna be pure baseball. Red Sox Yankees. It's gonna be pitching versus hitting, basically. Like I said, any 3 of these teams can win the division. That's just what my gut's telling me is gonna happen. I don't like it, and it could come down to a tiebreaker like it did last season. Toronto won the tiebreaker. They had the same record as the Yankees, 94 and 68. With Boston at 89 and 73. Those are my thoughts. I got nothing else.
Well, before we wrap up for the day, did you get a chance to see this yet, Al? You saw this, Randy?
I believe I did see it.
All right, I might as well play it. I wish is there there might be a shorter version. Oh, let me see. No. Here we go. I got it. Short version.
Oh, yeah. The guy that had 3 grand slams in college.
Tice Armstrong
with 3 grand slams versus New Mexico State.
Walk-off win. Yes, that's correct. Why was it a walk-off win, Randy? Yeah, why was it a walk-off? Do you know why it was a walk-off? Why? The mercy rule.
Was it mercy rule?
It was that.
I was about to say, if this kid already hit 2 grand slams, how would a third be a walk? Like, how many runs are you giving up?
Right, exactly.
But if it was mercy rule,
they have a mercy rule after 7 innings, 10 runs, and that put them over that amount, so they didn't play any further. Yeah, no, they didn't. They were down by more than 10 after 7 innings. That's why it was a walk-off. When he made it more than 10, the game was over. Yeah, they had a mercy rule. It was like 15-5 or something like that. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's what happened. They won 15-5, I think, was the final score, or something like that. So no reason to play any further after he hit the third. Now, first of all, the chances of coming up with the base loaded 3 times in a game, and to be able to produce. And, I watched it, and this guy, the first one was low. Ball was low and inside a little bit. He cranked it. The next one was medium, mid-strike zone, but outside. He cranked that one. The third one was up and in, and he cranked that one. They were all in 3 different locations. He hasn't really done anything else on the season, but they've only had 6 games so far. But pretty remarkable. And to do that, 12 RBIs in 1 game, 3 grand slams, and he tied the record. The fact that someone else has done one before.
Yeah, that's insane.
So, but he tied a record. I guess it's hard to create a record. Yeah, he tied the record. 3 grand slams in 1 game. So, and I'm not sure if that's all of baseball or just college baseball or what we're talking.
I'm assuming that's just college baseball.
I would think so. But interesting little thing that happened this past week.
Yeah. All right. As we wrap things up here, any quick World Baseball Classic predictions?
One.
Yeah. Yes.
What's garbage?
You don't want to watch? So what?
We lost Randy. We lost Randy on his first opinion and on his second.
Yeah, you lost us for a second there.
He froze up on us, Randy. Yeah, we can hear you now.
We can hear you. Yeah, we're here. You're here.
Yes.
We can hear you. That would be fun, but we'll take August.
So that was what was garbage? Just remember, garbage can produce, It could still produce because it goes into garbage and not a garbage cannot. You could cut that.
Really? All right, well, we won't talk to you then. Sir, World Baseball Classic prediction.
I'm going to predict that Venezuela is going to... Oh, is it being held there? Is it a World Baseball Classic in Venezuela?
I'll look right now. Oh, wait.
Here's my prediction. The World Baseball Classic, 11-year-old prospect, and perhaps the 13-year-old prospect as well.
So it is held in Puerto Rico, Texas, Florida, and Japan.
Okay. All right. And I would not be surprised if those, the 13-year-old and the 11-year-old, both have full goatees.
And they have documentation that says, I am 11.
Yeah.
A little bribe in there. All right, well, I got USA one day. This has been the Grounds Crew podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.